Welcome to the 5-Minute English Vocabulary Podcast. My name is Herbert Lee, and I'll be your host. Now you can easily improve your vocabulary without memorizing long lists of boring words, and still develop a powerful command of English. You'll learn the origin of words, or etymology, told as easy-to-remember stories. You'll also hear some jokes, and learn some idioms as well. Episode 44. Choice Words, Part 2. Have you ever noticed that some words have a peculiar knack for sneaking their way into our everyday conversations, effortlessly rolling off our tongues? They seem to have a certain charm, mesmerizing us with their melodic sounds and captivating meanings, whether it's the propensity for alliteration or the preference for puns. These words possess an undeniable power over our language choices. Preference. The word preference originates from the Latin term praefere, P-R-A-E-F-E-R-R-E, which is a combination of pre, P-R-A-E, meaning before or in front of, and fere, F-E-R-R-E, meaning to bear or to carry. In Latin, the term specifically referred to placing something in front of others or carrying it ahead. Over time, the meaning evolved to include having a liking or inclination for something over another. In English, the word preference emerged in the late 18th century, still retaining its sense of choosing or favoring one thing over another. The concept of preference reflects individual choices and subjective tendencies towards certain options. So what is a preference? A preference is a perplexing concept, often leaving us pondering the depths of our own desires. It is that elusive force that shapes our choices and directs our inclinations. At its core, preference encompasses not just what we like or dislike, but what we are drawn to on an instinctual level. It is an expression of our individuality, encapsulating the peculiar quirks that make us who we are. The traditional definition of preference often refers to one's choice or liking for something over others. It can be seen as a personal inclination towards certain options based on subjective tastes or experiences. This definition suggests that our preferences are shaped by individual factors such as upbringing, culture, and personal history. Here's a funny interpretation. When it comes to the word preference, some people have a unique way of interpreting it that always brings a smile to our faces. Imagine this scenario. You're at your favorite cafe, scanning through the menu, and you can't decide between a plain black coffee or a fancy latte with all the trimmings. Suddenly, your friend leans over and says with a mischievous grin, "I have only one preference when it comes to coffee. I prefer it in my hand right now." This funny interpretation highlights how sometimes our preferences are not as nuanced as we might think. Another hilarious twist on the word preference comes from those who claim they don't have any preferences at all. We all know someone who constantly refuses to choose between options, saying things like, "Oh no, you pick, I'm easygoing." They may maintain that they're just happy going along with whatever others decide, but secretly relish in having everyone else make choices for them. This comical take on preference adds another layer of amusement by pointing out that sometimes not having a preference can be its own peculiar form of preference after all. In conclusion, the humorous side of preference emerges when we realize that it is ultimately a matter of personal taste and choice. It can be amusing how vehemently some people defend their preferences, whether it's for pizza toppings or favorite TV shows. One person's love for pineapple on pizza may be met with disdain by others, leading to heated debates that are surprisingly entertaining to witness. Our preferences often shape our identities and become part of who we are, which adds an extra layer of amusement when we consider the countless quirky and idiosyncratic choices people have. Penchant, P-E-N-C-H-A-N-T. Penchant is a fancy word for having a strong liking or inclination towards something. It's like when you have an undeniable attraction to collecting quirky socks or an insatiable love for binge-watching cheesy reality shows. This humorous definition perfectly captures the essence of our peculiar penchants and adds some much-needed humor to everyday life. We all have that one friend with a penchant for puns, who can effortlessly turn any conversation into a laughter-inducing wordplay session. Even if their jokes make us groan, we can't help but appreciate their commitment to delivering puntastic punchlines at every opportunity. And then there are those with a penchant for procrastination, who always seem to find creative ways to delay tasks until the very last minute, often resulting in hilarious yet stressful situations. In the world of food, some people have a penchant for adding hot sauce to absolutely everything they eat, from eggs in the morning to ice cream at night. Yes, people actually do that. They proudly declare themselves as heat seekers and enjoy watching others' reactions as they sweat profusely devouring spicy delicacies. These amusing definitions remind us that everyone has their quirks and unique passions that add flavor and fun to our lives. In conclusion, our propensity preferences are fascinating and unique to each individual. Whether we have a penchant for spicy foods or proclivity for adventure, these tendencies tend to shape our experiences and add flavor to our lives. So why not embrace our propensities and celebrate what makes us tick? It's time to indulge in those guilty pleasures, follow our natural inclinations, and let our propensity preferences guide us towards a life that is truly tailored to our own desires. So go ahead, discover your propensities, and start living life on your terms. After all, who knows what amazing things await when we fully embrace our propensity preferences. So until we meet again, when we can share our penchant for proclivity, it's Herbert Lee saying, have a penchant for life.